The Mercedes fans were absolutely gutted after that race in Bahrain. Their car was a complete letdown and it had no pace to match their fierce rivals, Red Bull. Those bulls were zooming away, leaving Mercedes in the dust. Rumor has it that Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team principal, is considering throwing in the towel and scrapping their current car design to mimic Red Bull's successful approach. And if that wasn't enough drama, Lewis Hamilton, the legendary Mercedes driver, didn't hold back his frustration and called out the team for not listening to his feedback. Things are getting spicy. So, let's delve deeper into this juicy gossip, shall we? Mercedes is still having a tough time after their dismal performance at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And who's pointing the finger? None other than Lewis Hamilton himself, the 7-time champion. Apparently, he's not too happy with the Mercedes engineers for not listening to him last season. Hamilton's demanding that the team own up and admit that their current concept was wrong and that they should have listened to him all along. The British F1 star is confident that he knows what a car needs and he's not afraid to speak his mind. He claims that he gave Mercedes some valuable advice on how to solve their problems, but they didn't listen. In his own words, "Last year, I told them the issues that are with the car. Like, I've driven so many cars in my life, so I know what a car needs, I know what a car doesn't need. And I think it's really about accountability. It's about owning up and saying, yeah, you know what, we didn't listen to you, it's not where it needs to be, and we've got to work. We've got to look into the balance through the corners, look at all the weak points, and just huddle up as a team. That's what we do." Lewis then proceeded to say that they're still a multi-world championship team and that they just haven't got it right this time. He also added that they didn't see it last year, but that doesn't mean that they can't get it right moving forward this year. Hamilton's latest comments are seriously heated. It's like he's throwing gasoline on the fire of Mercedes' problems. And get this, his remarks seem to directly contradict the whole no-blame culture that the team leader Toto Wolff has been preaching about. But let's face it, nobody should be shocked that Hamilton is speaking out. I mean, have you seen how badly Mercedes is lagging behind the other teams in Sakir? Hamilton himself could only manage a measly 5th-place finish, and it's clear that Ferrari and Aston Martin are leaving them in the dust. On the other hand, team boss Toto Wolff is not mincing words. He's saying that their deficit to Red Bull has skyrocketed, almost doubled, if not tripled compared to last season. Yikes. And get this, Mercedes knew something was wrong from the get-go. During pre-season testing, the car suddenly lost front-end downforce, leading to some intense late-night talks on the second night. It sounds like they managed to recover a bit by the end of testing, but clearly that wasn't enough. Things only got worse at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell were both seriously off the pace, which is totally unexpected from a team that's been so dominant in recent years. What on earth is going on with Mercedes? It's a real head-scratcher. During qualifying, Toto Wolff watched in horror as his drivers trailed a whole 6/10ths behind Red Bull. Not exactly a recipe for success. And get this, he even admitted to the media that he doesn't think their current package is ever going to be competitive. Talk about a total gut punch. But it's not just a matter of throwing in the towel. According to Wolff, Mercedes gave it their all and now they need to regroup and sit down with the engineers to figure out their next move. It's time to make some tough decisions and decide which development direction will help them win races. Unfortunately, things didn't get any better during the actual Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton came in a dismal 5th place, a full 50 seconds behind Max Verstappen. George Russell managed to snag 7th place, but even he was 5 seconds behind. Ouch. It's a real wake-up call for the team and they need to figure out what their next steps are ASAP. Toto Wolff also added that everything between Mercedes and Red Bull is just a sideshow. He also said, "Everything is bad. The single lap pace is still good, but in the race we saw the consequences and to put it bluntly, we are lacking downforce and sliding the tires and going backwards. But there might be light at the end of the wind tunnel." According to Toto Wolff, they're already trialing an alternate concept in their wind tunnel, and it's not just about the side pods either. While the zero pods have been getting a lot of flack for Mercedes' downforce issues, Wolff says that there is a lot more to it than just what meets the eye. Apparently, they need to really dig into the data to figure out which direction to go in. It's not just about how the car looks on the outside. They need to get into the nitty-gritty details if they want to come out on top. Let's hope they can make some real progress and turn things around soon. Toto Wolff is trying to stay positive despite Mercedes' struggles. He's actually drawing inspiration from Aston Martin. Apparently, they had to scrap their first car last season and put out a B-spec one later in the year. And this Sunday, they managed to get a podium. That's some serious determination right there. Wolff is hoping that Mercedes can follow in Aston Martin's footsteps and make a strong comeback. Sure, they might have lost a year in development, but sometimes you have to take a step back in order to move forward. And hey, if Aston Martin can do it, why can't Mercedes? That's the attitude we like to see. Aston Martin, on the other hand, are having the time of their life. The impact of Aston Martin's success at the F1 Bahrain Grand Prix caused their share price to shoot up by a whopping 15% thanks to Fernando Alonso's sensational podium finish. That's a cool $300 million or £250 million added to their market cap in just one day. Talk about a massive boost. It's not just Aston Martin who are benefiting from this surge in stock value. Toto Wolff, the team principal of Mercedes, who, let's be honest, were a little outshunned by Aston Martin at the race, is also set to reap the rewards of this unexpected windfall. It just goes to show that in the cutthroat world of F1, even a team's financial success can hinge on a single race. In 2020, Wolff bought a 1% stake in the Aston Martin Formula One team from co-owner Lawrence Stroll, making him a private investor in the team. Aston Martin F1 is currently a Mercedes customer team using Mercedes engines. "Half of their car is ours," Lewis Hamilton said, "and they used our wind tunnel to build their car and practice aerodynamics, so we've got some work to do." Wolff's team has acknowledged that they need to rethink the W14's concept, and their customer team has already begun planning enhancements. There are already upgrades in the works for the AMR 23, so Aston Martin's threat to the top of the grid may not be over just yet. But it may seem that the worries of Mercedes can't come to an end. According to Nico Rosberg, Mercedes' recent struggles in the 2023 season can be attributed to the FIA's decision to raise the height of the floor edges and diffuser throat. However, Rosberg cautioned team principal Toto Wolff against making significant changes to the car's concept during the season, as it could set them back years in development. Despite this setback, there was hope at the end of the previous season that Mercedes was making strides towards catching up with rivals Ferrari and Red Bull. Although the porpoising issues from the previous car had been resolved, new floor regulations have presented a new problem for teams trying to create more downforce. The FIA raised the required height of the floor edges along with the diffuser throat, making it more challenging to seal the floor. This regulation change has impacted Mercedes more than other teams fighting at the front, according to Nico Rosberg. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff is willing to change the car's concept and move in a different direction, but Rosberg warns that this could be another step backwards for Mercedes in their pursuit of returning to the top of the Constructors' Championship. Do you reckon Mercedes can salvage their season and get back in the game with their rivals? Or is this season already a lost cause and they're out before they even started? Share your thoughts below. And hey, if you like what you see, hit that like button and subscribe for more content.